Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to 168 Hours, your weekly roundup of the top stories. I am Hafiz Abdul Sattar and I'll be your host for the evening. I will update you on everything that's shaping our community today. Stay tuned. The Chinese government assures support to facilitate the acceleration of the implementation of development projects in the pipeline pledged for the Maldives. The assurance was extended by Minister of Foreign Affairs of China, Wang Yi, during a courtesy call on President Dr. Mohammad Muiz.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz extended a warm welcome to China's Minister Wang Yi and thanked the minister for visiting the Maldives. The president expressed gratitude for the close friendship between the Maldives and China and the generous support from China towards the Maldives' development goals over the years. He further reflected on his state visit to China in January last year as a highly fruitful engagement that elevated bilateral cooperation between the two countries to new heights. President Dr. Muiz emphasized the importance of expediting key infrastructure development projects under the concluded agreements and memorandum of understandings between the two countries. He underscored the need to prioritize social housing and road development projects that are among the most pressing needs of the Maldivian people. Furthermore, the president highlighted his administration's focus on economic diversification, particularly in the agriculture and fisheries sector, and sought China's support in advancing these critical areas. In response, Minister Wang Yi conveyed appreciation to President Dr. Muiz for his commitment to strengthen the bilateral cooperation between the two countries, adding that the president is a good friend and trustworthy partner of China. Minister Wang also commended President Dr. Muiz's development vision for the Maldives and affirmed China's continued support for the country's sustainable development. He assured the Chinese government's support to facilitate the acceleration of the implementation of development projects in the pipeline. He further acknowledged Maldives' commitment to the One China principle and highlighted the cooperation between the two countries as a testament to how nations, regardless of size, can collaborate effectively for mutual progress and prosperity. The meeting concluded with both leaders expressing their mutual commitment to carry forward the China-Maldives Comprehensive Strategic Cooperative Partnership that was agreed between the two countries during President Dr. Muiz's state visit to China, and to further strengthen cooperation on multilateral platforms towards a shared future.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz expresses relief following the announcement of a ceasefire agreement after 15 months of war in Gaza, Palestine. He also conveyed his appreciation to the countries that facilitated the accord. The Israeli offensive, which commenced on 7 October 2023, has inflicted severe hardships on Gaza, resulting in inhuman living conditions and the displacement of hundreds of thousands of residents. The majority of Gaza's 2.3 million inhabitants have been displaced, further exacerbating an already dire situation. In a social media post, President Dr. Muiz shared his relief over the ceasefire deal, stating that the Maldives expresses its profound appreciation to the countries that have facilitated the agreement. He urges the international community to ensure the continuation of the ceasefire, allowing the return home of those displaced and access to humanitarian assistance. The ceasefire agreement was reached with Qatar and Egypt acting as mediators between Israel and Hamas, which governs Gaza. Over the past 15 months, the Maldives has worked extensively with the international community advocating for an end to Israeli aggression and the protection of Palestinian rights. President Dr. Muiz also used the opportunity to call on Israel to provide reparations to Palestine. He urged the international community to provide Palestine with the urgent support it needs to rebuild after the devastation caused by the Israeli aggression. In September 2024, President Dr. Muiz addressed the United Nations Security Council during a high-level, open debate on leadership for peace, united in respect of the UN Charter in search of a secure future. He highlighted the conditions facing the people of Palestine, especially in Gaza, citing that 36th UN Special Rapporteurs and experts referred to a genocide in the making in Gaza. He also noted that the International Court of Justice, ICJ, has found Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory illegal and that Israel must evacuate settlements and pay reparations to Palestinians. President Dr. Moise further stressed that the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court had sought arrest warrants in relation to the war in Gaza and called on the UN Security Council members to support the process of justice and not to do anything to undermine it. He also urged the continuation of the rule of law and called on the UN to grant a permanent membership to Palestine. Despite the announcement of a ceasefire, the Israeli military has intensified attacks on the Gaza Strip, reportedly killing at least 40 Palestinians. Israel's war in Gaza has killed at least 46,707 Palestinians and wounded 110,265 since 7 October 2023. Palestinians in Gaza are celebrating after mediators confirmed the ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel, which is set to take effect on Sunday, 19th January. The truce aims to end a devastating period of conflict and offers a glimmer of hope for a more stable and peaceful future for the people of Gaza. President Dr. Mohamed Moise constitutes a national task force to combat disasters ahead of a fresh spell of bad weather across the country. The task force comprises of Maldives National Defence Force (MNDF), Maldives Police Service (MPS), and National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA).
The Maldives Meteorological Service Met Office warns that the cyclone, which has formed in the southwest of the Bay of Bengal, is now moving west of the island nation, with heavy rains expected late Monday, continuing till Tuesday morning. Speaking at a press conference held by the task force on Monday, Chief of Defence Force Major General Ibrahim Hilmi said that the Joint Operations Centre of the task force has been established at the Army headquarters in Bandara Koshi. Hilmi said the MNDF was ready to provide assistance to the people to limit the damage caused by the impending bad weather. He said that the army is ready to put up sandbags and man the pump stations in the city, while soldiers across the atolls were also on standby. Speaking at the press conference, Commissioner of Police Ali Shujao said similar to MNDF, police were also on standby, Malé and the atolls ahead of the bad weather spell. He added that services have been arranged to provide assistance to islands where police posts have not been established. Shujao has asked the public to take some measures to mitigate the damage caused by the bad weather, urging them to restrict vehicle movement in flooded areas. During the press conference, National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) Chief Executive Hisan Hassan said that the agency's emergency operations have been activated and preparations are underway to provide assistance. Hisan shared details of the work being done to put up sandbags in the homes most likely to be affected by flooding. He said that more than 57 homes have been fortified with sandbags and added that efforts to overcome homes are still underway. He also urged people to take personal responsibility to mitigate the damage caused by the heavy rains and possible flooding. The Met Office has also urged people to take immediate precautions ahead of the fresh bad weather spell.
Maldives Industrial Fisheries Company MIFCO announces that the government will distribute a 48 canned case of canned tuna to every household for Ramadan, as per President Dr. Mohamed Moise's pledge.
Earlier, President Dr. Moise stated that the government would provide tuna cans for Ramadan this year. MIFCO is already working on the preparations to fulfill this promise. Speaking to PSM News, MIFCO confirmed that a 48 can case of canned tuna will be distributed to each household. While MIFCO typically produces nearly 100,000 cans of tuna for Ramadan annually, the President's decision has prompted the company to ramp up efforts to increase production to meet the new requirement. MIFCO said the arrangements are being made in collaboration with the State Trading Organization (STO). While production is expected to reach completion next month, distribution will commence after that. The method to distribute the cases is currently being planned and finalized. Last year, the government distributed staple foods to 82,000 households across the Maldives. However, this year, the President decided to distribute canned fish, which is widely consumed in most households during Ramadan. In the Maldivian market, canned tuna in oil costs $1.04 per can. At this price, 48 cans amount to $49.8. Based on these calculations, the government is estimated to spend over $4 million to distribute canned tuna to 82,000 households. In addition to food distribution, The government also provided discounts on water and electricity bills for Ramadan last year. The president has confirmed that the same discount will be provided during the upcoming Ramadan.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz and the President of Estonia, Dr. Alar Karis, reaffirmed their commitment to deepening bilateral relations and fostering collaborations between both countries. President Muiz met with President Karis during his official visit to Estonia at the invitation of the Estonian President. This marks the first time a head of state from the Maldives has visited Estonia.
During the meeting, Estonia's President Dr. Karis expressed his gratitude to President Dr. Muiz for accepting his invitation to visit Estonia. In response, President Dr. Muiz thanked President Dr. Karis and the people of Estonia for their warm welcome and hospitality. Discussions during the meeting centered on strengthening bilateral ties and exploring collaboration opportunities in areas such as tourism, education, and climate change. President Dr. Muiz also expressed interest in knowledge exchange in the field of cybersecurity and digital innovation. He highlighted Estonia's expertise in renewable energy, smart grids and sustainable technologies as valuable models for the Maldives and discussed avenues for cooperation to enhance environmental resilience and digital development in the Maldives. Furthermore, both presidents shared their views on international security and reaffirmed commitment to collaborate on shared priorities in the multilateral arena. Concluding the meeting, both presidents expressed confidence in strengthening the partnership between the Maldives and Estonia.
The Maldives and Estonia reaffirms their commitment to addressing shared climate challenges and advancing energy sustainability through strategic collaboration. As a part of his official visit to Estonia, President Muiz met with the Minister of Climate of Estonia, Yoko Alender, who paid a courtesy call on President Muiz. The meeting took place at the joint building of ministries in Estonia.
During the meeting between President Dr. Muiz and Minister of Climate of Estonia, the President highlighted the Maldives' commitment to becoming an environmentally friendly nation. He emphasized the importance of adopting sustainable energy solutions to achieve this vision and acknowledged Estonia's expertise in renewable energy. The President noted that Estonia's innovative approaches in renewable energy, smart grids and sustainable technologies could significantly contribute to enhancing the Maldives' environmental resilience while reducing carbon emissions and energy costs. Minister Yoko Alender recognized the shared challenges faced by small nations like the Maldives and Estonia, particularly in combating climate change and achieving energy sustainability. She stressed the importance of strategic digital solutions that are both cost-effective and scalable. The minister also reaffirmed Estonia's readiness to collaborate with the Maldives, emphasizing that small island developing states SIDS remains a priority in Estonia's climate and sustainability initiatives. Both leaders agreed on the need to strengthen cooperation in renewable energy, digital innovation and environmental resilience. They expressed optimism about future collaboration and reaffirmed their commitment to advancing shared priorities. Following the meeting, a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) was signed to enhance knowledge exchange, cooperation and support in the areas of climate change, environment and energy.
Minister of Tourism Ibrahim Faisal reveals a major breakthrough in the government's ongoing efforts to reopen and resume operations of Shangri-La Resort and Spa in the south, adding that a solution will be found this year. Known for its luxurious standards, Shangri-La Resort offers 284 beds, including 60 water villas, 26 beach villas, 28 pool villas, 16 tree houses, and 2 presidential villas spread across 550,000 square meters. The resort originally began operations with a 30% government stake and 70% ownership by Addu Investment Private Limited, a joint venture established to manage the property alongside the government. However, following its closure due to the global COVID-19 pandemic, the government relinquished its shares in August 2023. The closure resulted in significant job losses for many residents of Addu who are eagerly waiting for the resorts reopen. Reopening the Shangri-La Resort and Spa is a key presidential pledge of President Dr. Mohammad Muiz. Minister Faisal revealed that the Attorney General has now issued the necessary notices to the resort operator, adding that the long overdue solution will be found this year. He said that his ministry will have to see the place to know how much time it will take for renovations. He also reiterated the need for direct international flights to Addu City to operationalize the Shangri-La Resort, adding that negotiations were already underway. Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdullah Halil insists that the Maldives' positions on international issues have not changed. The minister's comments came in response to rumors on social media that Maldives has changed its position in favor of Ukraine in its ongoing war with Russia. Minister Halil, in a post on X, said the island nation's position has not changed, which is evident from its voting patterns at the United Nations (UN). He said that the Maldives has always taken a principled stance on issues related to the independence, sovereignty and international integrity of all countries in line with the UN Charter. The minister also insisted that Maldives' balanced foreign policy is rooted in close and friendly relations with all countries to protect Maldives' sovereignty and independence for the benefit of the Maldivian people. Maldives, throughout its diplomatic history, has largely maintained a neutral stand on bilateral disputes except for the Palestinian cause. The small island nation remains one of the strongest advocates for the establishment of an independent and sovereign state of Palestine on the international arena. The Minister of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure, Dr. Abdullah Muttalib, issues a stark warning to everyone who had acquired lands or flats from social housing schemes through fraudulent means. Allegations of fraud and scams in social housing schemes have long been rampant in the island nation. Manipulation of marks or tampering with the recipient's list remains grievances of the public. The recent allegations of fraud and forgery in the previous government's Bimvaria and Gedorvaria scheme has exacerbated public outcry. Minister Muttalib told reporters that in addition to the allegations of fraud within state institutions over such schemes, criminal elements within society have scammed dozens of people out of their life savings in the name of awarding land or flats. The minister warned that the government will not hesitate to seize any ill-gotten flat or land. He insisted that the construction of the boundary wall or lands and handover of flats acquired through illicit means will not be safe from seizure. The minister said housing remains the primary concern of society, adding that this administration will not tolerate corruption or fraud in any way or form, especially within state institutions. Maldives Police Service MPS has revealed that its investigations had found that the documents related to the disputed Bimvaria scheme were submitted to the Housing Development Corporation Limited HDC by individuals who had not applied for land under the scheme. And that's all we have for this week's 168 Hours. Stay tuned for more updates. Have a good day.